Today on the show, we're going to look at some theories surrounding the world and the events of Final Fantasy IX. If you didn't know that Final Fantasy I, 7, 9, and 10 are all possibly linked together, then this show is for you. Before we get started, I just want to say that this video is more for the open-minded gamer. So if your idea of fun is just aimlessly playing through the story and never playing through the game again, then this video probably isn't for you. But if your idea of fun is playing the story again and again and again and again so you notice everything that there is to notice, then definitely stick around. Also, this is part 3 of a 3-part Final Fantasy IX mini-series. If you want to learn about the events leading up to the main game, then definitely check out part 1. And if you want to learn about the main game itself, then check out part 2. So to start our first theory, we're going to have to go to Final Fantasy X-2 and look at this boy named Shinra. Now his name sounds a lot like the Shinra Corporation from Final Fantasy VII. But this was just a shout out to a previous game in the Final Fantasy series, right? Wrong. There is a quote from the co-writer of Final Fantasy VII and the main scenario writer from Final Fantasy X that I think every Final Fantasy fan should know. After quitting the Gullwings, Shinra received enormous financial support from Rin and began trying to use the Vagnagon to siphon Mako energy from the far plane. But he is unable to complete the system for utilizing energy in his generation, and in the future, when traveling to distant planets becomes possible, the Shinra Company is founded on another world, or something like that, and that would happen about 1,000 years after this story, I think. That is the quote word for word, and it sets in stone the link between Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy X. But where the hell does Final Fantasy IX come into this? So if they can go to one planet and harness energy from the life stream there, who's to say that they wouldn't go to another planet, find the planet crystal, and adapt their technology so it works with the planet crystal? And who's to say that this planet's name wasn't Terra? Theory is that they take so much energy from the planet crystal, the planet begins to die, and the planet fusion becomes necessary, and the events of Final Fantasy IX start. Now you're probably thinking, well, where the hell does the connection to Final Fantasy I come in? This is actually all part of the same theory, and I'm going to tell you. So if you look at the maps of Final Fantasy IX and Final Fantasy I, they have a lot of similarities but a lot of differences. So we know that Gaia has such a strong planet crystal that it has its own built-in reincarnation process, but we also know that a cataclysmic event happened and this destroyed all life and all structures on the planet. Maybe when the Gaian souls came back to life, they subconsciously remembered their past life, and by effect subconsciously remembered Castle Cornelia, and they built Alexandria Castle to look like Castle Cornelia on a subconscious level. So, to give you a brief rundown and recap of the events of this theory, Final Fantasy X happens and Shinra creates the Shinra Corporation, and then 1,000 years into the future, interstellar travel is possible, and they discover the planet that Final Fantasy VII is on, and Terra. Then, some more time into the future, people have sucked so much energy out of the planet crystal that a planet fusion becomes necessary, and this fails, thus destroying Castle Cornelia and all life on the world of Final Fantasy I, and also changing the landmass for good. Keeping in mind this is just a theory, and it's definitely one of the more out there theories, but it's still a cool thing to think about as you play the game. It's super effective! The next theory is about Vivi's children. Where did they come from? These theories don't require much explanation, but it's still kind of fun to think about them. As far as I'm aware, there are 3 possible theories for Vivi's children, and the first one is probably the least fun in my opinion. As a way of counteracting the remaining mist, Vivi utilizes the mist and creates more black mages, this time as an even younger version than himself, so he can bring them up and teach them how to use magic for good. By effect, when these black mages die, rather than the souls just returning to being mist and ceasing to exist, they would return to the Gaian soul cycle. The next theory is that Vivi got with another black mage and had a bit of the sex. And you might be wondering, well, Vivi only has the body of a 9-year-old. And you would be right, in the game, he does only have the body of a 9-year-old. Chronologically, Vivi is only 6 months old, meaning in 6 months, he grew from being a baby to a 9-year-old, so we can assume in about a year's time, he would look like an 18-year-old. By this effect, he might be able to have a bit of the sex and produce a bunch of black mage babies with another black mage. And for all of you that are about to go, oh, but it's Vivi, he's such an innocent child, boop boop wee boop. Look, puberty changes people. And Vivi has to go through like a 2-month puberty. That's insane. He's not going to be the same person by the end of the game that you knew at the start of the game. The final theory, and this is the theory that I actually support, is asexual reproduction. We've seen that Vivi is going to live longer than the other black mages. We saw so many black mages die naturally throughout the game, but Vivi seems to be aging quite a bit slower than them. Could it be when Vivi realizes he's the only one of his population left, the mist inside of his body splits and creates other Vivis? I know this one's a little bit out there, but it would be a very good biological way of preserving the population. And at the end of the day, that's what almost every species on this earth wants to do, preserve their population. So it would make sense for this to be a possible outcome. I know all 3 of these theories have their lapses in logic and judgment, but unless they make a Final Fantasy IX 2, we're never going to know where these Vivi spawn came from. Now we're on to our 3rd and final theory. Why the hell didn't Garland just take the Terrians and have them live on Gaia alongside the Gaians? And the explanation for this is kind of simple. He's a machine. As much as Garland is capable of complex thought, he's only capable of complex thought about what you tell him to think about. Let me give you an example. If you told Garland to make you a peanut butter sandwich, he would think of all the different brands of peanut butter, he would think about all the different ways to make peanut butter yourself, he would look at people that do make peanut butter themselves, but not for a second would he consider making you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. All in all, if you tell Garland to do something, he will get exactly that job done to the most perfect way that that job can be done, but he won't do anything else. So the Terrians told him to fix the planet fusion and save Terra, and obviously a way to do this would be to essentially destroy the Gaia Soul Crystal and replace it with the Terra one. By this effect, all the Gaian souls would die and the Terrians would have to live with that, which obviously is not a good thing. With Garland, it's a case of be careful what you wish for, because you're going to get it. It's super effective! Okay guys, that is it for today. Please let me know any Final Fantasy IX theories that you have in the comments down below. Also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Video Games, and it is super effective.